Imagine waking up tomorrow with the weight of your fears, anxieties, and doubts lifted off your shoulders. Imagine starting each day with a renewed sense of purpose, clarity, and peace. What if I told you that just 1 hour a day spent in the presence of God could be the key to unlocking that transformation? It's easy to feel overwhelmed by life's challenges, to feel like you're carrying the weight of the world alone. But the truth is, you don't have to. 1 hour a day, just 1 hour, can be all it takes to shift your mindset, break free from limitations, and invite miracles into your life. This hour isn't just about ritual or routine. It's about opening your heart, connecting with something greater than yourself, and allowing divine guidance to lead you through every moment. Think about the power of dedicating time to the one who created you, the one who knows your every need, your every dream, and your every struggle. This is the opportunity to step into a life of true freedom, purpose, and transformation. Today, I want to share with you how giving just 1 hour a day to God can change everything. Consistency is one of the most powerful principles in life. When we dedicate time daily to a specific practice, whether it's physical exercise, learning, or in this case, connecting with God, the cumulative impact over time can lead to profound transformation. In the context of dedicating 1 hour a day to God, this commitment holds incredible power. It's not about how much time you spend at once, but about the commitment to show up consistently. When you prioritize your relationship with God each day, that commitment creates a foundation for spiritual growth and personal development that is unshakable. Think about it. The simple act of showing up every day is often more powerful than occasional bursts of intense activity. Many people expect dramatic changes to occur overnight, but the truth is that life doesn't work that way. Transformation happens gradually. It happens through the small, seemingly insignificant choices you make each day, compounded over time. It's the hours you spend consistently that build momentum and lead to breakthroughs. Whether you're reading scripture, meditating, praying, or just sitting in quiet reflection, dedicating that hour each day creates an unwavering connection to God that opens the door to greater understanding, peace, and guidance. The importance of consistency cannot be overstated. In the world we live in, where distractions are rampant and time is scarce, carving out 1 hour a day for God can seem like a challenge. But when you consider the long-term benefits, it becomes clear that it is an investment worth making. Just as a successful athlete trains consistently, a disciplined student studies daily, or a successful entrepreneur works tirelessly every day, a committed spiritual practice requires the same consistency. The difference here is that the reward isn't just material or external, it's spiritual and internal. This type of consistency builds an unbreakable foundation in your life. When you spend 1 hour every day with God, whether through prayer, meditation, or quiet reflection, you begin to establish a routine that brings you peace and clarity. You may not always see immediate results, but over time, you'll notice that your outlook on life begins to change. Your stress decreases, your resilience grows, and you begin to experience a deeper sense of joy and purpose. You'll begin to see things through a different lens, a lens that is shaped by God's love, wisdom, and grace. Consistency in your spiritual practice allows you to cultivate a relationship with God that is both deep and personal. It is easy to become disconnected from your faith when you only turn to God during times of crisis. However, when you show up for God every day, you are creating a constant thread of connection that weaves through the fabric of your life. It's the kind of relationship that transcends fleeting emotions and external circumstances. It's rooted in faith, and it becomes a constant source of guidance, comfort, and strength. Moreover, consistent practice provides you with a solid foundation for facing life's challenges. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns. But when you've made a habit of spending time with God, you approach those challenges with a different mindset. You don't panic when things go wrong because you know you're not facing them alone. Your faith becomes a shield that protects you from the harshness of life. Every obstacle, every difficulty becomes an opportunity to grow, to trust God more deeply, and to rely on the wisdom He has imparted to you. Think about how consistency works in other areas of life. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by making a few big moves. They reached their goals by showing up every single day. The same is true when it comes to your spiritual journey. By consistently dedicating time to God, you are building the spiritual muscles needed to face any adversity with grace and strength. Just as a small daily act of exercise strengthens your body, a daily connection with God strengthens your spirit. This consistency also cultivates the habit of gratitude. When you make time for God every day, you develop an appreciation for the small blessings in your life. You become more aware of the things that truly matter and less focused on the distractions that often consume us. Your relationship with God becomes a place where you can express your thanks for the abundance you already have, rather than always seeking more. This shift in focus leads to a deeper sense of contentment and peace, knowing that you are supported by a higher power every day. One of the greatest gifts of consistency in your spiritual practice is the inner peace it brings. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, having a consistent routine that connects you to God provides stability. It gives you something to rely on when everything else seems uncertain. Each day, when you spend time with God, you are reminded that you are not alone, that there is a plan for your life, and that no matter what happens, you are held in the arms of divine love. What's more, the consistency of spending time with God creates a ripple effect in your life. As you become more grounded in your faith, your actions and decisions begin to reflect that inner peace and strength. You start treating others with more compassion and understanding. Your relationships improve, your work ethic becomes more focused, and you begin to see opportunities that you hadn't noticed before. You radiate a sense of calm and confidence that others can sense, and that energy influences everyone around you. Ultimately, it's the consistency of your daily practice that sets you apart. When you make the decision to spend just 1 hour a day with God, you are not just investing in yourself, you're investing in your future. The benefits may not be immediately apparent, but over time, you'll look back and realize just how much that 1 hour a day has changed your life. You will have built a strong spiritual foundation that will carry you through the toughest of times. And you'll discover that with each passing day, your life becomes more aligned with the divine purpose you were always meant to fulfill. When you dedicate 1 hour each day to connecting with God, you are not just engaging in a religious practice, but you are aligning yourself with a higher purpose, a purpose that transcends the everyday concerns of life. The act of spending time with God offers more than just spiritual growth. It brings clarity, direction, and a deeper sense of meaning to your existence. When you make the choice to spend 1 hour daily in reflection, prayer, or meditation, you are opening yourself up to the possibility of aligning your actions with the divine plan that has been set for you. This connection with a higher purpose provides an inner compass that helps guide your steps, especially in moments of uncertainty or confusion. We live in a world filled with distractions, constantly pulling us in different directions. The noise of everyday life, the demands of work, relationships, and the pressure to achieve personal goals can sometimes make it difficult to hear the still small voice of God. However, by taking just 1 hour a day to quiet the noise and focus on your relationship with God, you create a space where divine guidance can flow. You may find that in that stillness, your purpose becomes clearer, your goals sharper, and the path you need to take more apparent. This higher purpose isn't necessarily something grand or far off. It can be reflected in the small decisions you make every day, from how you treat others to the choices you make in your work and relationships. In those moments of daily connection with God, you allow His wisdom to flow into every aspect of your life. The benefit of aligning with a higher purpose is that it provides you with a sense of direction. Life can often feel overwhelming, especially when we are unsure of our next step. The world may tell you to chase after success, wealth, or status, but deep down there's a voice that is often drowned out by the noise of external pressures. By spending an hour each day with God, you create an opportunity to tune into that voice, the voice that speaks from within and leads you to a life filled with deeper meaning. It helps you realize that there is more to life than the superficial goals often presented to us. Instead, you begin to focus on the things that truly matter: your relationships, your health, your inner peace, and your ability to serve others. Spending time with God each day allows you to get in touch with the divine purpose that He has planned for your life. It's easy to feel disconnected from your true calling when you're constantly chasing after fleeting goals or trying to meet the expectations of others. However, as you spend that time each day in prayer, reflection, or worship, you begin to uncover what you were truly meant to do, who you are meant to be, and how you can fulfill your unique purpose in this world. This purpose may not always align with societal norms or expectations, but it aligns with the greater plan that God has set for you. It's in this daily practice that you find the courage to step away from the noise and distractions, trusting that the path you are walking is the right one for you. When you align yourself with this higher purpose, you also experience a deep sense of fulfillment. True fulfillment doesn't come from achieving external success or accumulating material possessions. It comes from living a life that is true to who you are and the divine calling placed on your life. By dedicating 1 hour each day to God, you begin to understand that fulfillment is not found in the outcome of your efforts, but in the process of aligning your actions with your purpose. It is in this alignment that you experience a profound sense of peace, knowing that every step you take is guided by a higher power. In addition to fulfillment, aligning with a higher purpose also helps you to make better decisions in your life. When you take time each day to connect with God, you are not only receiving spiritual nourishment, but you are also sharpening your decision-making abilities. Your ability to discern right from wrong, to choose wisely in both big and small matters becomes clearer. Instead of being driven by fear, anxiety, or the desire to impress others, your decisions are guided by a sense of divine wisdom and clarity. You begin to recognize the importance of making decisions that are in line with your true purpose. And this shift leads to a life that feels more intentional and meaningful. Aligning with a higher purpose also strengthens your resilience in the face of adversity. Life will undoubtedly bring challenges, but when you are connected to a higher power, you approach those challenges with a different mindset. You no longer see obstacles as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth. With a higher purpose in mind, every setback becomes a lesson. Every failure becomes a stepping stone towards your ultimate goal. This shift in perspective allows you to remain steadfast and unshaken, knowing that you are on the right path, even if that path involves moments of struggle or difficulty. Furthermore, aligning with your higher purpose through daily connection with God leads to a more authentic life. There's a sense of authenticity that comes with living in alignment with God's plan for your life. You no longer feel the pressure to conform to the expectations of others or to live according to societal standards. Instead, you live in a way that is true to who you are and what you are meant to accomplish. This authenticity brings a deep sense of peace and contentment as you no longer feel the need to prove yourself or seek validation from the world. Your worth is no longer tied to external accomplishments, but to the understanding that you are fulfilling your divine purpose. When you are aligned with a higher purpose, your life takes on a deeper significance. Every action you take, no matter how small, becomes a part of a greater plan. You begin to see that your life is not just a series of random events, but is in fact part of a divine design. This realization brings a sense of peace and fulfillment that cannot be found in material success or external achievements. As you continue to spend 1 hour each day connecting with God, you deepen your understanding of that purpose, and your life becomes a reflection of the divine calling placed on your heart. Through this daily commitment, you allow God's guidance to illuminate your path, bringing clarity, direction, and a profound sense of meaning to every aspect of your life. When you dedicate 1 hour each day to spending time with God, you are not only nurturing your spiritual well-being, but also cultivating resilience in your life. Life, by its very nature, is unpredictable, and we will all encounter moments of hardship, loss, or personal challenge. However, it is how we respond to these situations that defines us. Spiritual practice, especially the kind that involves consistent daily engagement with God, equips us with the strength and resilience needed to face life's difficulties with grace and courage. By forming this habit, you not only build a foundation of inner peace, but also develop the emotional and spiritual tools to navigate the storms of life. When you consistently spend time with God, you invite divine peace into your heart. This peace is not the absence of trouble, but the presence of a calm and centered spirit amidst chaos. Life's challenges can make us feel like we are at the mercy of circumstances, but when you are rooted in your faith, you develop the ability to remain steady, even when the world around you is shifting. The peace that comes from daily connection with God becomes your anchor, grounding you in times of crisis and helping you regain your equilibrium when things get tough. This inner peace is not something that can be easily shaken by external circumstances. Instead, it remains constant regardless of what is happening around you. Spending 1 hour a day with God also strengthens your mental and emotional resilience. Resilience isn't about being invulnerable or impervious to pain. It is about the ability to bounce back from adversity and emerge stronger. Through daily practice, you learn to shift your focus from the difficulty itself to the lessons and growth opportunities it offers. Instead of seeing hardship as a defeat, you begin to view it as an opportunity for spiritual growth and personal development. When you face challenges, you are more likely to turn to God for guidance, knowing that His wisdom can help you navigate the path forward. Over time, this practice builds a mindset that embraces challenges as part of your life's journey, not as insurmountable obstacles. Moreover, regular time spent with God fosters a deeper understanding of your purpose and the divine plan for your life. When you connect with God, you open yourself up to a greater understanding of why certain things happen and how those events fit into a larger narrative. This understanding provides clarity and reduces confusion, especially during difficult moments. Life's hardships no longer seem random or cruel. They are part of a divine design that has a purpose, even if that purpose is not immediately apparent. This perspective allows you to trust in the process, knowing that every experience, no matter how painful, is contributing to your growth and the unfolding of your greater purpose. As you continue to dedicate time to God each day, your response to adversity shifts. You begin to realize that challenges are not signs of divine abandonment, but opportunities to lean deeper into faith and trust. Each difficulty becomes an invitation to rely on God's strength rather than your own, fostering a deeper relationship with the divine. The more you seek God's guidance, the more you recognize that you are never truly alone, no matter how dire the circumstances may seem. This sense of companionship, even in the darkest moments, builds resilience as you come to understand that God's presence is constant and unwavering. Building spiritual resilience through daily connection with God also empowers you to face fear and uncertainty. Fear can be paralyzing and often prevents us from taking action when we are faced with challenges. However, when you spend time with God, you cultivate a sense of courage that overcomes fear. You begin to realize that fear is not a signal to retreat, but a reminder that you are stepping into something new or unfamiliar, something that requires faith. Through prayer, meditation, and reflection, you learn to replace fear with faith, knowing that God's plan for you is greater than any obstacle that may stand in your way. Another aspect of resilience that comes from daily spiritual practice is the ability to remain hopeful even in the face of setbacks. Life's difficulties can often lead to feelings of hopelessness, and it can be easy to lose sight of the future when things seem bleak. However, by dedicating time each day to God, you learn to shift your perspective from the temporary difficulties of the present to the eternal hope that faith provides. You are reminded that no season of life is permanent and that better days are ahead, even if they are not immediately visible. This sense of hope is a crucial component of resilience, as it keeps you moving forward when things feel stagnant or overwhelming. In addition to hope, your daily practice builds spiritual strength. Just as physical exercise strengthens the body over time, spending time with God strengthens your spirit. Each moment you spend in prayer, worship, or reflection builds a foundation of inner strength that you can draw upon when needed most. The more consistently you connect with God, the more you become attuned to His presence, His power, and His love. This awareness empowers you to face life's challenges with a quiet confidence, knowing that you are drawing on a source of strength that is limitless and eternal. Furthermore, daily time with God develops the discipline and self-control needed to overcome emotional and spiritual challenges. Resilience is not just about the ability to endure hardship, but about developing the capacity to maintain inner peace and emotional balance, even when life feels chaotic. As you spend 1 hour each day with God, you learn to approach situations with calm and clarity, rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. This discipline helps you to manage your thoughts and emotions, ensuring that you respond to life's challenges with wisdom and grace. The practice of spiritual resilience also has a ripple effect in other areas of your life. As you grow more resilient in your faith, you become more resilient in your relationships, your career, and your personal aspirations. The same strength that you cultivate through your spiritual practice translates into other aspects of life. You become someone who doesn't back down in the face of adversity, who meets challenges with a steady resolve and a heart full of faith. This resilience becomes part of your character, shaping the way you interact with the world and influencing those around you. Ultimately, the resilience that comes from spending 1 hour each day with God is not something that happens overnight. It's a gradual process built through consistent practice, faith, and trust. With each day that you dedicate to God, you are cultivating a strength and resilience that will carry you through the inevitable ups and downs of life. This resilience will not only help you navigate life's difficulties, but will also inspire others to do the same, showing them the power of faith, prayer, and the strength that comes from a deep connection with God. When you dedicate 1 hour each day to connecting with God, it becomes an opportunity to transform your mindset and renew your way of thinking. Our minds are constantly bombarded with information, worries, and distractions, and it's easy to become overwhelmed by negative thoughts, fears, and doubts. But by intentionally setting aside time each day to be with God, you create space to clear your mind and refocus on what truly matters. This daily practice of prayer, meditation, or reflection has the power to reshape your thinking and bring about a profound shift in your mindset. The process of renewing your mindset begins when you intentionally choose to focus on God's truth. The world around us often promotes values that can lead us to feel insecure, stressed, or disconnected. Whether it's the pressure to keep up with societal expectations, the constant comparison to others, or the stress of trying to manage our own lives, these external influences can cloud our thinking and lead us down a path of doubt and discouragement. But when you spend 1 hour each day in God's presence, you choose to center your thoughts on His promises, His wisdom, and His love. This shift in focus allows you to step away from the noise and distractions of the world and to reset your thoughts according to divine truth. In those moments of stillness and reflection, you open yourself up to the Word of God, which has the power to transform your thinking. The Bible is full of wisdom and guidance that addresses every aspect of life, from personal struggles to relationships, from decision-making to finding purpose. As you read Scripture or meditate on God's promises, you begin to internalize His words, allowing them to shape your thoughts and guide your actions. This process of renewing your mind is essential because our thoughts have a direct impact on our emotions, actions, and overall outlook on life. When you allow God's truth to penetrate your mind, it has the power to replace fear, anxiety, and negativity with peace, hope, and joy. Renewing your mindset through daily connection with God also involves a shift in perspective. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to get stuck in a mindset of defeat or hopelessness when faced with obstacles. But when you spend time with God each day, you are reminded of His sovereignty and His ability to work all things together for good. This perspective change allows you to see challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth. Instead of dwelling on what's going wrong, you begin to focus on what God can do in the midst of your struggles. You start to see how each difficulty is shaping you, teaching you, and preparing you for something greater. This renewed mindset also helps you to see yourself the way God sees you. Many people struggle with feelings of inadequacy, insecurity, or low self-worth. The world often measures success and value based on external achievements, appearance, or approval from others. But God's perspective is different. When you spend time with Him, you are reminded of your inherent worth, not based on what you've accomplished, but on who you are in Him. Through His eyes, you are valued, loved, and worthy of His blessings. This shift in mindset empowers you to embrace your true identity and step into the person God has called you to be. Furthermore, renewing your mindset through daily time with God helps you break free from limiting beliefs. Often, we hold on to beliefs that limit our potential and keep us from stepping into the fullness of what God has for us. These beliefs might stem from past failures, negative experiences, or the fear of the unknown. But when you spend time with God each day, you begin to see your potential through His eyes. You are reminded that with God, all things are possible, and that His plans for you are greater than anything you can imagine. This renewed mindset removes the barriers that hold you back and opens the door to a life of freedom, courage, and possibility. In addition to shifting your perspective on life and yourself, spending time with God each day helps you develop a mindset of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool for transforming your thoughts because it shifts your focus from what's lacking or going wrong to what is abundant and going well. When you reflect on the blessings you have, both big and small, you begin to see life through a lens of thankfulness. This practice of gratitude helps you maintain a positive mindset, even in difficult circumstances. Instead of complaining or focusing on what's not working, you start to recognize the goodness of God in every area of your life. Gratitude not only shifts your thinking, but also opens the door to more blessings as you learn to appreciate the gifts you already have. Through daily connection with God, you also develop a mindset of peace. The world can be chaotic, filled with noise, stress, and demands that pull us in every direction. But when you spend 1 hour each day with God, you invite His peace into your heart. This peace is not dependent on external circumstances. It is an inner peace that transcends the turmoil around you. As you sit in God's presence, you begin to let go of worries, anxieties, and fears. You are reminded that God is in control and that He will provide for your needs, guide your steps, and protect you. This peace becomes a foundation that helps you stay grounded no matter what challenges come your way. A renewed mindset through daily time with God also helps you cultivate a mindset of purpose. Many people struggle with feelings of aimlessness or confusion, unsure of their direction in life. But when you spend time in God's presence, you begin to gain clarity about your purpose. As you pray and listen for His voice, He reveals the path He has for you, helping you understand how your life fits into His greater plan. This sense of purpose gives you direction, motivation, and the confidence to pursue your goals, knowing that you are walking in alignment with God's will. This transformation of your mindset is not a one-time event. It's a continuous process. Every day you spend time with God, you are cultivating a mindset that is rooted in faith, peace, gratitude, and purpose. It's a daily practice that builds on itself, allowing you to become more aligned with God's will and His truth. Over time, you'll notice that your thinking becomes more positive, your actions more intentional, and your life more focused on what truly matters. The shift in mindset that comes from spending 1 hour a day with God is a powerful tool for transforming your life and stepping into the fullness of who you are meant to be. 1 hour each day spent with God has the potential to break the chains that bind us, whether those chains are of fear, anxiety, regret, or any other form of limitation. We often walk through life carrying burdens, sometimes visible, sometimes hidden, that hold us back from living fully and embracing the life we are meant to live. These limitations can stem from past mistakes, fears of the unknown, insecurities, or even unhealthy patterns of thinking. They keep us tethered to old ways of thinking, acting, and reacting, preventing us from stepping into the fullness of what God has for us. However, dedicating time each day to God offers us an opportunity to break free from these chains and to experience freedom in every aspect of our lives. The first way this daily practice helps to break free from limitations is by breaking the chains of fear. Fear is a powerful emotion that can paralyze us and prevent us from taking steps toward our dreams and goals. We may fear failure, judgment, or even the unknown. Fear often takes hold of our minds and hearts, convincing us that we are incapable, unworthy, or doomed to repeat past mistakes. However, when you spend time each day in God's presence, you create space to confront and replace these fears with faith. In God's presence, you are reminded that He has not given us a spirit of fear, but one of power, love, and a sound mind. Each day spent with God helps you reframe your thinking, allowing His perfect love to cast out fear. As you build your trust in Him, the fears that once held you captive lose their grip on your life. Breaking free from limitations also involves breaking the chains of self-doubt and insecurity. So often, we are our own worst critics, doubting our abilities, worth, and purpose. The world around us can also reinforce these feelings by valuing external achievements and appearances over our true inner worth. We may feel unqualified or incapable of achieving the things we desire, and this sense of inadequacy can keep us from pursuing our dreams or even taking the first step. But when you dedicate time each day to God, you are reminded of who you are in His eyes. You are His beloved creation, uniquely designed with a purpose. Spending time with God helps you replace self-doubt with confidence, knowing that He has equipped you with everything you need to fulfill your calling. You begin to see yourself through His eyes, not as someone limited by past failures or imperfections, but as someone filled with potential and purpose. One of the most significant limitations many of us face is the chain of past regret and guilt. We often carry the weight of mistakes we've made, decisions we wish we hadn't made, or opportunities we feel we missed. This weight can prevent us from moving forward as we constantly relive our past mistakes in our minds. However, when you spend 1 hour a day with God, you are reminded of the power of His grace. God is not interested in holding our past against us. He offers forgiveness and healing, inviting us to let go of past regrets and embrace the freedom that comes with His forgiveness. In His presence, we are reminded that He makes all things new, and that our past does not define our future. This truth allows us to break free from the chains of guilt and regret, enabling us to step boldly into the present and future with hope and confidence. Additionally, dedicating time to God each day helps break the chains of unhealthy thought patterns and destructive behaviors. Many of us struggle with negative thinking, self-sabotage, or even addiction to harmful habits. These patterns can keep us stuck in cycles of failure, frustration, and despair. When you spend time with God, His truth begins to renew your mind. The Word of God has the power to transform how you think and perceive the world. It helps you recognize toxic patterns of thought that are keeping you stuck and provides the tools to replace those patterns with healthier, more positive ways of thinking. As you meditate on God's Word daily, you begin to develop a mindset that is aligned with His truth. Truth that empowers you to break free from destructive cycles and live in alignment with His will. Another powerful way that daily time with God helps break limitations is by removing the chain of comparison. In a world driven by social media and constant exposure to others' lives, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison. We compare our accomplishments, appearance, relationships, and lifestyles to those of others, often feeling inadequate or less than. Comparison steals our joy, distorts our sense of identity, and prevents us from embracing the uniqueness of our own journey. But when you spend time with God, He redirects your focus away from others and back onto your own path. In God's presence, you are reminded that you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that your worth is not determined by the standards of the world. As you connect with God each day, you break free from the chains of comparison, embracing the beauty of your own story and the unique purpose He has for you. Spending 1 hour with God each day also helps break the chains of worry and anxiety. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to become consumed by worries about the future, the unknown, or the challenges we face. Worry often paralyzes us, keeping us from taking action and enjoying the present moment. But in God's presence, we are reminded that we do not need to worry about tomorrow because He is already there. His Word tells us to cast all our cares on Him, knowing that He cares for us. As we spend time with Him daily, we learn to surrender our anxieties and trust in His provision. This trust allows us to break free from the cycle of worry, leading to greater peace, clarity, and focus on the present. Breaking free from limitations is also about healing from emotional wounds. Many of us carry scars from past hurt, betrayal, or loss, and these emotional wounds can shape the way we view the world and interact with others. However, spending time with God each day opens the door for emotional healing. In His presence, we find comfort, peace, and strength to face our past wounds and allow God's love to heal them. God promises to bind up the brokenhearted and set the captives free. And when we come to Him each day, we allow His healing touch to restore us. This healing process is vital for breaking the chains that hold us back from living fully and freely. Ultimately, dedicating 1 hour a day to God provides the space for these chains to be broken, whether they are chains of fear, doubt, regret, unhealthy thinking, comparison, worry, or emotional wounds. Through consistent time spent in His presence, we become more aware of the limitations that have held us back and begin to recognize the freedom that God offers. Each day, as we surrender our burdens to Him, we are given the strength, clarity, and peace to move forward into the life He has prepared for us. One that is not bound by limitations, but is filled with freedom, purpose, and divine potential. 1 hour each day spent in God's presence is not just an act of devotion. It is a powerful invitation for divine intervention in your life. Through this daily practice, you open yourself up to the possibility of miracles, those moments when the natural world intersects with the supernatural. We often think of miracles as extraordinary events that defy the laws of nature, but in reality, miracles can be seen in many forms, both big and small. They can be life-changing breakthroughs or small moments of clarity and peace that guide us through difficult times. By dedicating 1 hour a day to God, you create the space for these miracles to manifest in your life. First and foremost, spending time with God each day helps align your heart and mind with His will. The more you seek His presence, the more you become attuned to His voice and His plans for your life. Miracles happen when we are in alignment with God's purpose for us. Often we may feel as though we are walking through life without direction or clear guidance. But when we make time for God, we invite His wisdom to guide us, and in that guidance, miracles begin to unfold. These miracles might not always be dramatic or immediate, but when you are aligned with God's will, you will begin to see opportunities, connections, and breakthroughs that you may have previously overlooked. Miracles also happen when we invite God's presence into the challenges and struggles we face. Life is full of difficulties, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the weight of them. Whether it's financial problems, health issues, relational conflicts, or personal setbacks, we often find ourselves in situations that seem impossible to overcome. But when we dedicate time each day to seeking God's presence, we invite His intervention into those situations. Miracles happen when God steps into our circumstances, turning what seems like a dead end into an opportunity for growth, healing, and restoration. Through prayer and reflection, you invite God's power into your life, allowing Him to work in ways that you could never imagine. The act of spending 1 hour a day with God also helps you see life through a lens of faith rather than fear. Fear often blinds us to the miracles happening around us. When we are fearful, we focus on what could go wrong, on what we lack, or on the obstacles in our way. However, faith shifts our focus to what God can do, to the possibilities He presents, and to the hope He offers. Faith allows us to see beyond our immediate circumstances and recognize the divine hand at work. Miracles are often subtle and go unnoticed by those who are too focused on their fears or limitations. But when you spend time with God and cultivate faith, you begin to see the miraculous workings of God in even the smallest of moments. Moreover, spending time with God each day strengthens your relationship with Him, which opens the door for personal transformation. Miracles aren't just external events. They can also be internal changes that occur when God moves in your life. These transformations can come in the form of a renewed heart, a shift in perspective, or a newfound sense of peace. You may find that the very way you see the world around you changes. Instead of focusing on your problems, you begin to see the blessings in your life. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, you start to recognize them as stepping stones to something greater. These internal miracles are often the foundation for the external breakthroughs that follow. When God changes your heart, He sets you on a path toward greater purpose and fulfillment. In addition to internal transformation, daily time with God enables you to recognize the miracles already present in your life. Too often, we are so caught up in our struggles or desires that we fail to see the miracles that are already unfolding around us. Miracles are not always instantaneous or grandiose. Sometimes they come in the form of small everyday blessings, a job opportunity, a kind word from a friend, a moment of peace in the middle of chaos. By spending 1 hour each day with God, you open your eyes to these blessings and begin to develop a deeper sense of gratitude. Gratitude in turn invites more miracles into your life as it shifts your perspective from lack to abundance. When you recognize and appreciate the small miracles, you create the space for larger ones to manifest. Another way that daily connection with God invites miracles is through divine provision. Many people struggle with financial insecurity, unmet needs, or feelings of lack. These struggles can often leave us feeling hopeless and discouraged. However, when you spend 1 hour each day in God's presence, you invite His provision into your life. God promises to provide for His people. And when you make time for Him daily, you open the door for His provision to flow into your life in unexpected ways. Miracles of provision may come in the form of a new job, financial assistance, or an unexpected blessing. When you place your trust in God, you make room for His miraculous provision to meet your needs, often in ways that you could not have anticipated. The power of daily connection with God also lies in His ability to heal. Whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual healing, God is in the business of restoration. Many of us carry wounds from our past, physical ailments, emotional scars, or broken relationships. These wounds can often limit our ability to fully embrace life and experience its blessings. However, when we spend time with God, we invite His healing touch into our lives. Miracles of healing are not always instantaneous, but the act of spending time in God's presence creates an environment where healing can take place. Whether it's through a breakthrough in understanding, a renewed sense of hope, or a moment of inner peace, God's healing power works in both subtle and profound ways. Additionally, miracles happen when we seek to be a part of something greater than ourselves. When you dedicate 1 hour each day to God, you are not just seeking personal blessings, but are also positioning yourself to be a vessel for God's work in the world. Miracles often occur when we are willing to be used by God to impact others, whether it's through acts of kindness, sharing His message, or helping those in need. We become conduits for His miracles. As we give of ourselves, we open the door for God to work through us, impacting the lives of others in ways that we may never fully understand. Ultimately, spending 1 hour a day with God opens the door for miracles to manifest in your life in ways you may not have expected. It's not just about waiting for dramatic, life-changing events to happen, but about cultivating a deeper relationship with God, aligning your life with His will, and inviting His presence into your circumstances. Miracles are not confined to rare or exceptional moments. They are available to us every day. Through consistent time spent with God, you begin to see the miraculous at work in your own life, whether in the form of personal transformation, divine provision, healing, or the small everyday blessings that remind you of God's faithfulness. Each moment spent with God becomes an opportunity for His power to touch your life in profound ways, creating a space where miracles can flourish. In conclusion, dedicating just 1 hour a day to spending time with God can truly change your life. It's through this consistent practice that you break free from limitations, align with a higher purpose, build spiritual resilience, renew your mindset, and open the door for miracles to unfold. This hour is not merely an act of devotion, but a powerful opportunity for personal transformation, growth, and divine intervention. As you commit to this time each day, you invite peace, clarity, guidance, and strength into your life, knowing that with God, all things are possible. The journey may not always be easy, but the rewards of faith, peace, and divine blessing are immeasurable. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this message. I encourage you to make that 1 hour a day sacred, trusting that each moment spent with God is an investment in your future. Good luck on this journey of spiritual growth and transformation. May your faith be strengthened, your heart be opened, and your life be forever changed by the miraculous work of God. Thank you, and may God bless you abundantly.